Number 1. Cop fired after flirting with a civilian. In August 2016, a Jackson Police Department officer, Daryl Stasher, became a social media sensation for all the wrong reasons. While on patrol, Stasher played a cheap move of flirting with a suspect that cost him not only his job but his reputation as well. The most shocking part about the incident is that the suspect, whom Stasher tried to flirt with, was a juvenile. As the conversation was going on, the 17-year-old was recording it on her cell phone, which she later posted on Facebook. Within 24 hours of uploading the video, it received more than 24,000 views. The video captured Stasher asking the suspect to have sex with him, which she denied at first. The 8-year police veteran then responded to her denial by asking if she was afraid of anybody. The juvenile said that she wasn't. Oblivious to the fact that everything was being recorded on the suspect's phone, Officer Stasher threw wild offers one after another.
I don't know.
I'm gonna take care of you, so.
You can take care of me, but I don't go to room.
Okay, well, where the hell you go? How you do grown folk shit then? What are you talking about you gonna go for?
Okay, you act like I can't stand here and talk to you.
As soon as the video became public, Jackson PD came into action. Commenting on the incident, Police Chief Lee Vance called Stasher an unproductive and irresponsible officer who didn't respect his position. Pointing out the fact that the suspect was a minor, Chief Vance said that Jackson PD doesn't need someone who doesn't have a good character. "I'm telling you that my tolerance level for things like this is 0, he said. "We have too much to do. We came too far." Stasher was immediately fired from his job after the video went viral. In less than 2 days, an 8-year veteran patrolman became jobless. Agreeing with the chief, the JPD commander, Tyree Jones, called the incident disturbing, saying that an experienced officer should know better. Commander Jones said that although the age of the suspect made the matter worse,
it's just even more disturbing if she is a juvenile. But again, it's the content of the video, it's the content of the language that was used in the video.
his actions were unacceptable regardless of that fact. He also said that Officer Stasher should have had some respect for the uniform he wore and the patrol car that he drove. But Chief Vance and Commander Jones were not the only people who called Stasher's actions intolerable. The majority of Jackson residents also heavily criticized the former cop, asking for reformation and strict discipline in the police department. It's a good thing that the suspect recorded the encounter on her phone, which begs the question, how many juveniles had Daryl Stasher blackmailed and taken advantage of before? There's no doubt that Stasher's actions were outrageous, and it calls for strict action to discipline such officers. However, the next story is going to shock you. Have a look at how the junior cop engaged in sexual activities with her supervisor while arresting a suspect. Number 2. Cops fired after making out in car. While transporting a burglary suspect to the police station, a 30-year-old part-time police officer, Janine England, and a 57-year-old police chief, Timothy Escola, started making out in the front seats. England made the first move by kissing and caressing her senior, who didn't mind it and returned the favor. While they were engaging in this sexual activity in the middle of the road and in the middle of doing their job, the dash cam was recording the whole time. What added insult to injury was the fact that Chief Escola was married at the time. As they continued engaging in this behavior, Officer England kept checking on the suspect from time to time to confirm if he was still sleeping. Both England and Escola had no idea what was in store for them as they kept pressing on with their actions. As soon as the footage became public, both cops were met with outrage and criticism throughout Ohio. Residents of Perry Township asked the authorities to fire the duo for their unprofessionalism and irresponsible behavior. But following their job termination, another problem emerged. Chief Escola was given the choice to retire from his job while receiving all his benefits. His subordinate, however, wasn't given the same luxury. England wasn't allowed the opportunity to retire and was fired by the police department. Instead of walking away, England chose to file a complaint with the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, saying that her resignation was rejected in part because she was a woman. England's lawyer even went as far to say that she was a woman in a man's world and that England had been a victim of gender discrimination. Town officials, on the other hand, maintained that there was no discrimination and that both would have received disciplinary action, but the chief decided to resign. After England filed a complaint, all focus shifted from both officers' actions towards the debate of gender discrimination. As it turned out, she was not alone in this fight. Her supervisor, Escola, though retired now, tried to defend England. He argued that there have been times when officers with far worse actions, including stealing a taser and and driving under the influence were allowed to retire and simply walk away without a mark on their record just because they were men. Escola also said that he was never threatened with termination and was instead allowed to retire. In the end, England's efforts turned out to be fruitful as the federal officials ruled her firing discriminatory and unlawful. Regardless of what you think about the gender discrimination in this case, one thing that shocked me is that both officers knew that they were being recorded and still proceeded to engage in such actions while on duty. This indicates that cops had no regard or fear for the camera or scrutiny that might follow the publishing of the video. Another question that arises from this is how many times had Escola and England been engaged in these actions while on duty without facing any consequences? Although the actions of both officers were consensual here, the next case on the list involves a cop, Juan Andrade, who sexually assaulted a homeless woman. Number 3. Sheriff's deputy lost his job after groping a homeless woman. After San Diego County Sheriff's Department received a complaint from a homeless woman on March 11, 2017, Deputy Juan Andrade and 2 other deputies were assigned to respond to the location. The homeless woman, whose name has been kept a secret, reported that a homeless man had assaulted her. Instead of offering protection to the aggrieved woman, Deputy Andrade sexually assaulted her. While the other 2 deputies took the suspect to the police station, Juan started harassing the victim. Reporting to the department, the woman said that Juan kissed her multiple times and touched her inappropriately. Following the incident, she posted on her Facebook account saying, "Met a police officer who wanted to take me into the bushes." Not only did he harass her at the time of responding to her call, but Andrade also got her number and then called her multiple times. She claimed that the deputy would share his personal information, along with information about his marriage on the phone. Andrade, however, had a different story to share. While the woman claimed that he had sexually assaulted her, Andrade claimed that everything was consensual. He also said that they went shopping, where he bought the homeless woman some clothes and food. Soon after the allegations, an internal investigation was started by the authorities and investigators interviewed both separately. "I couldn't believe she tried to do that twice," Deputy Andrade told the investigators. "The second time for me was worse than the first time. I felt like she had taken something away from me without permission, and she made me feel like it was my fault." Andrade also said that it was the woman who initiated everything and that he couldn't tell anyone because he was embarrassed over his actions. The woman, however, said everything opposite of the deputy. "I kind of feel like maybe he took advantage of the situation a little bit," she said. "He knew that I was helpless and he took full advantage of it." She also said that Andrade promised her to provide clothing and food and that he had forced her to touch his private parts. After hearing both sides, the department finally reached a decision, claiming Andrade's actions unbecoming of a sheriff's deputy. The sheriff's department determined that Andrade violated 5 department policies and decided to terminate him. But he was later shown mercy by his supervisors, which allowed Andrade to resign, which he opted for. Commenting on the deputy's doings, Lieutenant Michael Blevins said, "Deputy Andrade's actions have eroded department credibility, the trust of department members, and public confidence, and he has opened the department to liability for his actions." Following Andrade's case, San Diego County Sheriff's Department started a wide investigation into the conduct of its deputies, which resulted in multiple shocking discoveries. The department found out that there were several deputies involved in harassing and sexually assaulting suspects and victims alike, all of which were dealt with according to the department's policies. If you want to keep exposing such corrupt cops, please show your support by subscribing to the channel.